Guys, this is going to be the most expensive launch in Lentor area yet, and I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about it. Let's go. Now today we're going to deep dive into all you need to know about Lentor Mansion, the bad things about this project, the project overview, the location overview, the floor plans, and also 5 reasons why you should consider buying Lentor Mansions. It's going to be a long one, but I promise you value. And of course right now I'm going to tell you how I view these negative points positively. But before I do that, right, if you find this kind of content helpful and relevant, do me a favor by tapping the like button so that this video can travel to more people who are interested in content like this. Thank you. Many of you may already know that Lentor is a site where we can actually house a total of 12 residential sites, and today we are actually launching the 5th plot of land, which is Lentor Mansion. Much debated Lentor Mansion will be the most expensive in terms of PSF pricing in the entire Lentor region and has to be built based on the latest harmonization computation method, which will cause the overall sizing to be smaller, right? Now, even though the PSF will be higher, however, we should be looking at similar or close to similar quantum around this area. So what is GFA harmonization? So basically, you don't need to know all the technical details. You just need to know one thing is that nowadays, right, when you see a sizing that is being presented by the developer, that means you see a 3-bedroom unit at 1,000 square feet, right? Before this, the previous projects that were launched in Singapore previously, right, all these will include the aircon ledge. That means 1,000 square feet, but maybe you have a 100 square feet aircon ledge. But today, right, when you see a unit that's 1,000 square feet, basically the whole entire space will be lived in without calculating the aircon ledges or even the airspace as well. And therefore, right, you will actually cause all the PSF pricing to be a bit higher. So having talked so much, maybe I just show you a slide for you to understand. Basically, right, you can see that back then for 1,000 square feet, it will include the aircon ledge, but in today's market, right, in today's floor plan, the 1,000 square feet will be excluding this. That means more live-in area, and you only pay for what you can step and live in. So you can make a comparison for yourself, and yep, it's pretty clear over here. So in short, today, right, you cannot just look at the PSF anymore, because this is not the first time that we are doing this. The government is doing this because back in 2010, right, they actually have this DC exemption changes as well. Yeah, I will leave it in the link below so you can go and read it up. And it caused PSF to go up by a little bit, but this time around is really a game changer. Why? Because all developers, right, will have to only charge you based on the interior living space. And I think this is a kind of benefit for all consumers alike. So much about the harmonization. Let's get back to what the Lentor region is. So many of you will know Lentor as an area whereby when you want to go to Yishun, right, you exit city, you'll see Lentor over there. And many will associate Lentor with the city. But if you have never been here before, right, actually a fun fact is that down here used to be slated and actually earmarked as the Disneyland of Singapore way long ago. But even though people consider this as Yishun, actually this is part of the Ang Mo Kio planning area. In fact, if you know Lentor, right, do you know like for example, Yio Chu Kang MRT is just one stretch along this area, just all the way up. So myth that Lentor is Yishun or Mandai is wrong. It's part of the Ang Mo Kio planning area. Another thing that if you have never visited Lentor before is that you will actually get direct access to nature as well. So the nature walks, the Windsor Park and all these things is actually just walking distance away, and it's also being serviced by the Thomson East Coast Line, the only MRT line in Singapore that connects the two customs, which is JB and also Changi Airport. And many people will say that why do you need that? Actually today, if you want to take cab to the airport, right, if let's say you are coming from Bukit Timah, right, I'm living in Bukit Timah, the cab fare will usually cost you about $20 over, and it will take about 30 over minutes. But if you're living on the Thomson East Coast Line, basically you just need to take your luggage, take MRT, and you're all the way, you are at the airport. Of course, not everybody will do that. That's just a benefit of living along the Thomson East Coast Line. And it also links you to the future RTS that brings you to JB as well. So it's a place whereby if you travel a lot, this is something that actually is a benefit that you will notice. Okay, last thing to add about location is that the future North-South corridor will be completed in a couple of years' time. So basically in future, right, you don't have to go by Thomson all the way up to town, but there will be an underground tunnel that links you all the way to the CBD, and that will cut down travelling time by 20 to 25 minutes if you are driving. And for cyclists, right, you will be glad to know that there's even a cycling track that brings you all the way to the CBD. Okay, now there's gonna be a lot of people coming in, so we quickly show you the model because you're not supposed to do so. So this is Lentor Mansion, or as mentioned earlier on, this will actually lead you all the way up. Is Yio Chu Kang already, so you don't need to make any other filter or right turn. If you want to go to the city, go straight up, filter left, you will be heading towards the city. And one thing very unique about this development is that the clubhouse is actually designed to mimic the likes of a colonial house. And a fun fact, the developer actually got the inspiration from the recent minister saga. 可以讲吗这个? Yeah, the saga on the ministers renting the colonial house. And they decided that it's actually really cool to have a clubhouse that mimics it, and this is how it looks. So it has a divider in between. You can actually make it separate into two different clubhouse, or you can just combine both into a huge ass one. And they have a veranda that sticks out from the driveway as well. And this important thing, right, is that if you look at the ceiling height over here, I think it's 6 meters. The clubhouse driveway, right, the grand driveway will actually have a ceiling height of about 6 meters. And if you ask me, this is usually sign of a luxury project. Why? Because you want your friends when they drive in and then they see, wow, so atas. Moving on, right, we also have 2 pools over here. The land plot is above 200,000 square feet. You enjoy a lot of land. Later, we'll show you on the side plan. So down here, it actually leads you in from the main entrance, right? After that, we move in. To the left, you actually have a childcare center at the basement, and this is what we call a natural basement. The developer actually raised the ground floor up a little bit so that the first floor is actually on the base B1 for your parking. And personally, I like that because when I visit my friends, right, sometimes I need to go to B2. Then B2 usually got no aircon on, and it's very, very warm, and you don't have reception. Right, moving over here, right, you can see this is the natural basement. So for those that are going to childcare, they can come over on this side. You only enter the condo from here. Hi, I just teleported over here. So why? Because down here is actually the side gate and the tennis court. And nowadays developers are quite smart. They usually put the noisy areas, right, facing this side over here, so that even if you are the one that is facing the side gate, you are pretty far away from the side gate. The children's area is over here. There's also a play pool, tennis court. And also, this ring finger means to say that there will not be any houses over here. It spans across 15 to 20 meters, so to guarantee you sufficient setback from the opposite development, which is the Lentor Hills area. So they have a lot of modern facilities like glamping and all these things. So there'll be glamping. The side gate here offers you direct access to the future Hillock Park, and they also have this pavilion. They call it the Forest Pavilion. So one thing good about having big plot of land means that you own more real estate. So this is the Cocoland signature lawn, and I would say that in this plot, currently we don't have anything like this yet. So when you see this, it reminds you of Martin Modern, Leiden Green, Goodwood Residences, all these for 3-bedroom, 3 to 4 million up. Another thing is, earlier on we talk about the facade, right? Look at the facade. First impression, it doesn't lose out to any of the developments. One look you can see, I would call it stealth-like, but it's a dark facade, which you don't really see much of a contrast. 5 developments that are already launched. This will offer you a totally very fresh outlook. Not forgetting sky terraces. Do you like sky terraces? Let me know. And if you look at the floor plan, developer, when they designed the floor plan, right, they actually wanted it to have a continuous walkway. That means whenever I bring my kids for a walk, my son want to play a kick scooter, there's a continuous track. So that means you don't need to go downstairs, go upstairs. There's no different speed level in the land. Okay, so much about the facade. Let me know in the comments what you think about the facade. Now let's move on to the next part. What you all have been waiting for, the floor plan comparison. Let's go. Let me share with you the general details of this project. The name is called Lentor Mansion. Above 200,000 square feet in terms of land, considered big. 533 units, 486 car parks. Importantly, there's no basement 2, only got basement 1, and it's a natural basement, means fresh air into the basement. There's a childcare center that is 600 square feet, total 6 blocks, of which 3 of the front-facing blocks are actually low-rise. Reason why is because they want to remain a certain frontage for those landed property owners in front, so that it won't be like suddenly one big wall slap in front of their face. Architect is ADDP Architect, main con China con. So there are total of 2-bedroom layouts, of which one is a 2-bedroom compact. They call it 2-bedroom basic, and the size is 527 square feet. Both 2-bedroom layouts are actually dumbbell layouts. It's just that one of the smaller one and the living room and the dining area is slightly not as deep as the 2-bed 2 bath. So the 2-bed 2 bath is at 657 square feet. What I love about this layout is that both of them have 3 meter width. So 3 meter width is actually considered generous because most of the 2 bedrooms today are 2.8. Even some 3 bedroom complex are 2.8 meters living room with living room and dining, because when the living is 2.8 means the dining is 2.8. So when you walk past the dining area, you actually have sufficient space in between to just walk through. But in terms of per square foot quantum, the developer just announced today that the 2 bedroom at 1.14 means that the starting price starts at $2,181. So if I use the similar PSF to calculate, it means to say that the 2 bedroom premium units will start at about 14xx PSF. Today, I think whatever is available in the market, I think this is still one of the lowest quantum that you can get for a premium unit that is near to the MRT station and the malls. There are quite a number of floor plans naming 2 bedroom basic, which is the 2 bedroom compact in the past. Total there are 107 units, which is about 20% of total units. 2 bedroom standard also makes up about 20% of the units. So for the 2 bedrooms, generally an investment unit or a first time homeowner or a couple without kids, they will fit a 2 bedroom. Next we have the 3 bedroom, starts at 786 square feet. Total they are 11.6%. 3 bedroom standard starting from 861 square feet, about 11.6%. 3 bedroom plus 14.1%. The 3 bedrooms all adds up to close to 30%. 4 bedroom basic, most people will buy 4 bedroom for own stay, total 14% of the units, and 5 bedroom they are 8.5%, 75 units of 4 bedrooms. My comments about this development is that they are the first development in Lentor region to offer a 5 bedroom option. The 2 bedroom in today's market at the time of recording is the lowest in the market. Not to mention that the next closest one is way further away from the MRT station and isn't within a private conclave. Next, 5 bedroom wise at 3.17 million, so offers you the lowest entry quantum for a 5 bedroom unit. Likewise, the closest price quantum is not that near MRT station as compared to here as well. So there are offerings of 3 bedrooms here, and the starting price is at 1.702 million. So the lowest quantum unit is like 2,100 odd PSF if you're using a 2,165 square feet as an average. If you minus off the obvious thing that we know today with GFA harmonization, you need to strike off 7% from the PSF, right? Actually, if we normalize the pricing, right, we are at 2,000 PSF if you compare apple to apple with the surrounding projects, like for example Lentoria. In terms of pricing, I'll just leave it over here. You guys go and check it out yourselves. So now I'm going to share with you the 3 bad things, but I'm going to tell you the truth. Is number 1, obviously the per square foot pricing. Being unable to charge the extra square footage on the aircon ledge means that the developer GoCoLand will have to raise the PSF a little bit as compared to the neighbors around this area. That's number 1. Number 2 is that this development is actually slightly further away from the counterparts over here. It's slightly further away. And thirdly, if you have eyes, you can see they don't have full height windows. So these are the 3 things that if you don't want to buy, you can use these to say why you shouldn't buy. But I can tell you one thing, how I view it is, number 1, in terms of per square foot, right, today, right, just a very logical manner to go and think of it. When you go to the bank and you apply for a loan, will the bank ask you what is the PSF? Or will the bank ask you how much is the total quantum you want to loan? That is a very simple logic you need to ask yourself. This thing is that the banks don't really bother like how the developer price the PSF. More of like, well, does this overall quantum fit in terms of the live-in space? Does it make sense or not? So today, right, you need to ask yourself a very logical question. Today, when people buy properties, they're more concerned about the overall quantum or the PSF. I would say the first one. Secondly, when you talk about the distance away from MRT station, if you actually look at the map, right, from the side gate where you walk out, it will take you less than 6 minutes for you to reach the MRT station. And today, when you're living right on top of the mall or right at the entrance of the mall, one thing you will face on, which is what? I will write inside the comments. You can comment and tell me what do you think. When you are right at you are sharing the same road as the access road for the entire MRT and the shopping mall and all these things, the entrance, right, what will you experience? Of course, it's really indeed up to individual and your own preference, but I would say that 5 minutes walk away from the MRT station is not that far left, right? In fact, if you look at the access to the main road, right, for Lentor Mansion, once you turn out of the guardhouse or you turn left straight up, you hit Yio Chu Kang Road, right? For those that are inside the area, right, you need to still go through a few junctions in order to hit the main road. And because we are slightly further away, we have more direct access to the main road as well. So last but not least, the deal breaker for those that don't want to buy, no full height windows. You know, when agents come for briefing, they keep saying, hey, 没有 full height window 咧，没有 full height window, 没有 full height window. But are the agents the one buying? Sorry, bro. you're not the ones buying. So when it comes to full height windows, jokes aside, actually it's just a perception that is more premium. Because we all know that BTO usually don't have full height windows, and because condos have, they always perceive that it's more premium to have full height windows. When you drive past a lot of condominiums, if you look up to the houses, you can see that they have a lot of unsightly things being placed along the full height windows. Why? Because in this day and age, space is a rare commodity. It's something, a luxury that not everybody can afford. Back in those days when the units are damn big and oversized, you can afford to have a very big space. Full height windows, you can just cover up. So having quarter exposed window, that means up to knee level concrete, actually offers you a lot more privacy. All these are the materials they use. Ultimately, what is more important is the overall aesthetic, whether colors being used are nice, whether the facade looks good on the overall. If you ask me, I don't think how is Su get any of the development over here Okay, but this one I leave it to you to decide. Now, last but not least, here comes the sales pitch. You'll be glad to hear if you are seriously considering buying. But when I'm looking at a property investment, there are a few factors that I look into. Not just whether I like it, not just whether I can afford it. Well, just based on my own opinion, how it looks. Number one, you need to have facilities, the design, the convenience, exit strategy, and also the price. These are 5 points which I will go very, very quickly to explain to you what I mean by that. Number one, facilities. Today, when you buy a condominium, you want to make sure that this development is better than the HDB. If you are buying something that only offers you a very small pool and whatnot, actually basically people will not want to buy something like that. So with that, an easy way to go and judge whether it fits into that is to look at the land size. Typically, when you have a big plot of land above 100,000 or 250,000, generally you can afford to have most of the desired facilities being offered in that one developer itself. Important, you need to go and see, check with the agent what kind of facilities are there. Does it feel like a country club? If yes, that is the view. Number two will be the design. Today, importantly, is the layout of the unit. You've seen certain developments with very, very long corridor or very, very big balcony or super big aircon ledges that you cannot use. That falls under design. If you look at the facade, they are using very weird colors, or it doesn't catch your eye when you drive past. That is also the tell sign, and especially the layout. Number three, the convenience. That means this development within 5 to 10 minutes away from the MRT station. Do you have convenience stores around the area? Because these will actually make people want to live at that area. Number four, your exit strategy. Is there a reason why people want to be here? For example, if there's a school, then people will want to be around this area because they have no choice. Because in Singapore, once you enroll your son or daughter into a primary school, you need to stay there for the next 3 years and you cannot move out. That causes the stickiness of people wanting to be at the area. Even they shift around, is still within the different kind of condominiums. And last but not least, even if you fit all the above 4 criteria, but the last criteria doesn't fit, it's still a no-go, meaning the price. Today you can have fulfill all the criteria, but developments around there are asking for, let's say 1000 BSF, but this unit is asking 50% higher than the rest of the developments. Can buy or not? Means cannot lah. Guys, you need to make sure that you do an apple-to-apple comparison. The last thing you want to do is use the very, very old developments to compare with the brand new developments. That's a sure fail method. Now, after sharing with you the 5 key factors of a profit-generating asset, now I want to explain to you why Lentor 可以买啦. Number one, facilities. It's the largest plot by far in the entire Lentor region. It's going to be the largest as well. Design and layout, due to the harmonization computation method, the developers are the first that are offering you a pricing which is not factoring in all the wasted space. Number 3, having an MRT station at a mall just about 5 minutes away from you cannot go wrong for the daily necessities and commute. Point number 4, exit strategy. When we talk about exit strategy, first thing you can think of is the school. We are just within 1 km to CHIJ St. Nick's. We are also within 1 km to Anderson Primary School, which is a boys' school. So if whether you have a boy or a girl, there's a draw over here. So exit strategy certainly is very strong. Last but not least, in terms of pricing, at this kind of price quantum, 2-bedroom 1.2 million cheapest in the market, 3-bedroom 1.7 million you cannot find in other developments, 4-bedroom 2.6 odd million, still one of the cheapest, and 5 bedrooms, the only 5-bedroom in this cluster by far. Pricing cannot go wrong. Now, in summary, Lentor Mansion is certainly something that you can consider if you're looking to buy something for investment or own stay, given the pricing, all the factors that I mentioned just now. But given that there are so many units, you have to decide which unit size or which kind of layout suits you. So if you have any other questions or concerns, right, leave them inside the comment section, or you can drop me a message or give me a call. I'll be happy to answer any kind of questions you have. So that's all we have for today. If you enjoy watching content like this and you benefited, do me a favor, tap the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell, because you must not miss videos like this. With that, see you at the next video, and bye.